Okay, still draining the old water heater right here. I've got it jacked up so I can get it to this. The gravity assist drain was clogged up yesterday. We couldn't get it empty. It's basically draining into a shallow sump with a white pump. It's pumping it into a 13-gallon trash can. Got a second sump in the 13-gallon trash can, and it's running into the wash machine, which is the easiest way to put it on the spin cycle and drain it into the wash machine drain. Not getting much settlement, but there was settlement in the bottom of this. You see I got it jacked up. 2 jack stands on the back. I got a triad setting with a board. And jacked up the pan. That was fun. I could tell it had water in it when I was shaking the water heater. You could hear it had water in it because I know I didn't get drained much, and it was settlement clogged at the drain faucet at the bottom of the water heater. 15 years. Now it's draining pretty good in the sump. The first sump in the battery powered pump is pumping it with wash machine hoses, you can see, and it's pumping it into the 13-gallon secondary pump. And I have a sump pump here, and that empties so quick. When I come over here and plug in that temporary sump in the 13-gallon, you'll see it drains it down pretty quickly. And I can shut this all off. Alright, so the main sump, so turn that off. This will fill back up to 13-gallon. Here is the, I had to take this off. You unscrew this, and that allows the faucet plug to come out, shove the straw in there, and knocked out a bunch of settlement, and it started to drain at a good force now. You can see that's a good force coming out of there. I probably got, it's a 50-gallon water heater. I probably got 20 or more gallons in here. Now I can let this thing fill up 13 gallons. I come in here to the wash machine. I got plenty of, probably 20 gallons in the wash machine here. It's just a little dirty, no dirtier than clothes. I picked this black hose up in case I had to do any pumping of water during one of the hurricanes a couple years ago that never materialized. Now we're getting a good flow to empty this water heaters. We tried to get it up the steps last night to get out of here. Here's the new one installed. We tried to get it up the steps to get it out of here. We just couldn't lift it with a hand truck, 2 of us. So I knew it had a pretty good amount of water in it. So, improvise drain pump. Unfortunately, this house was not built with a floor drain. This is the bottom layer of the house. It's the slab base. And we got pretty good height here. At least I know if I fill this up a couple times, it's 13 gallons. Probably filling this up about 10 gallons at a time before I drain it. So I don't have an exact calculation, but at least I know I probably, out of the 15-gallon water heater, I probably drained probably filled this up maybe once and a half. So probably about maybe 20 gallons. So I probably got 30 gallons to drain. This will be another 10. And I'll be able to tell when I got this thing drained because I got this up on the jack. It wobbles enough that I could shake it and hear the water splashing inside the water heater. So I probably got about this much water in the wash machine. Then I can shut this all down. It's all controlled. And then I can remove that black hose from the wash machine and run the spin cycle for about 2 minutes. It drains all that water right out. It drains through the wash machine into the drain for the wash machine, not getting behind there and messing with it. Alright, so you can see I got a good flow coming out of the first sump stage. Alright, let's turn this on one more time. We'll hear this This is a regular, I had this for years. This is a probably $113 regular double insulated submersible sump that you can pick up at Lowe's and Depot. So that empties about 13 gallons, pretty good. Don't want to run it dry long, so let's unplug this. Still got a good flow here in my temporary sump. Old roasting pan. Still got a good flow here. Alright. So let's see, what do I got? Oh, I still got plenty. I could fill this thing up probably another 13 gallons. So this is probably 20, 30 gallon maybe. Marsh machine. I wish it said how many gallons it was. I was trying to estimate. You would think it would tell you here how much water it loads. So that doesn't look any dirtier than when you wash your clothes. If you shut your wash machine off with a few clothes that are dirty, and so this should drain pretty good. So yes, this little bugger had a lot of water in it. Still got a good flow coming out of that drain. Now I had this sump pump, and I had this old battery sump pump here. It's worked great for years. 3D cell batteries. It's good for like aquariums and stuff like that. And of course for like $7 I bought this. I did the first probably 20 gallons. This just goes to a drill pump. And I was able to get a good part of it. I never really got a good flow like that, so I guess it was always kind of enough settlement. I guess this old water heater, 15 years, it's kind of like an old fish tank, fish aquarium, just kind of settled there. At some point you would expect this flow here to come down a little bit, but it's still flowing pretty good. So I'm really turn the second sump on before this thing fills up, so it's probably about 10 gallons here. 13 gallon trash can, you get the 13 gallon trash bags. That's probably 13 gallons to the top. So this is about 10 gallons here. So that's another 20. So I'm thinking at a 50 gallon, I probably only drained at the worst 10. Maybe I got 20 of it, so I should expect that I probably have 30 gallons in this 50 gallon water heater. So that's draining down. Marsh machine's handling it like a champ. So that's another 10 gallons out of this water heater. Go ahead and unplug that. Another thing that's good when you're doing this is a good old floor blower. Dries the floor. Pick that up. That's always been a good investment. Dry this stuff. It's dripping and stuff. So my new one, I bought it at Lowe's, 50 gallon electric. Bought a new pan for it. It's a little bit wider. It's just 23 inches. Hooked it up, hot water heater. Placed these faucets here. Placed the insulators for the hot water line. Powered it up. Hook that all up. Okay, I still got a good flow here. Coming out of that drain. So it looks like I get another 10 gallons. So I think I got 30 gallons already. This is going. Did one fill, so that's about 10. Did another 20. So this is getting close to 30. So this should tell me how much I initially drained out of there before it just kind of clogged. I think I didn't really get much out of it. Even with that drill pump, I just couldn't. I think there was enough settlement at the bottom of that tank near that drain faucet that I just couldn't get anything out of it much. Of course, I opened up the top valves here, hot and cold water, and I opened this up. Try to get air to push that water down out of the drain so we don't create any air vacuums. But now, of course, when I filled this up, one of the tips is you open this up here while you're filling it up. When it starts to run out of here, you shut it down. You know the water level's to here. And then not too long after that, it started to flow through my plumbing system. Didn't turn on the circuit breaker until after I had this water running through the house plumbing out of the spigots in the bathtub and the kitchen and the bathroom hot water faucet. So I had that running pretty good. All right, this is getting pretty high, so let's run another sump here. That's flowing down pretty good. My washing machine, look at this. We know that's 20. So maybe this is half full. So I'm guessing 30 gallon wash. So just think about that. You got a 50 gallon water heater. You fill that up with hot water, it's about 10, 20, 30 gallons. So you're using a good bit of your hot water just to do one load of washing hot. Okay, so that's 30 gallons. And we still got a good flow. So I guess I'm removing probably 40 gallons. So, geez, I only pulled out about 10 gallons yesterday when it was in place here. You just kind of muscled it out, my son and I. So that, we were trying to get that up with steps on a hand truck. He's weighed, that's about 125 pounds empty. So this was probably 200 pounds we couldn't get up with it, two of us in a hand truck. So I guess 40 gallons of water in a water heater, pretty heavy. Now you can calculate how many gallons, how many pounds a gallon of water is, and how many extra pounds. This was probably 125. Still good flow. Yeah, this is an old Whirlpool. I think it was 2003 I thought I saw on here somewhere. 50 gallon capacity, 6-year warranty. You can see they don't really warranty these for 6. You probably get 7 to 10 years out of it. I think I got this about, it says 92. That's a standard. I think I had something that said it was 2003. So 15 years I got out of this. Now the reason why it popped up here. And the reason why it popped is, unfortunately, gotta run the sump again. Unfortunately, last night on my street, a house fire, fully consumed house fire down the street. So the fire engines came, they were running that pumper engine on the fire hydrants. And obviously, it was probably pressurizing the line back, and that found the weakest link on a 15-year-old water heater. Okay, that's 30 gallons there. So, that's what it looked like on my plumbing. Alright, so now we're going to have to shut down this operation and drain this wash machine. So, I'm curious, we could probably let this fill. Looks like I'm hearing this thing. Yep, still flowing good. This is going to be going from 30 to 40 gallons. I mean, I didn't really get much out of that water heater at all yesterday. So what I'm going to do, this is unplugged, this is just a battery, and what I'm going to do here with a screwdriver is close this off. This is just gravity draining. So close this off here, and what this will allow me to do is drain that wash machine. So, here. Again, this is a pulled from the bottom. Now, when I shut this off, I might have a little bit back flow. Alright, let's go ahead and shut this off. We'll stop pumping into here. Now, there's going to be water in this hose. So as long as I keep this hose high here, and you can see that I didn't just drop it into the washing machine. I made sure that enough of it laid in the washing machine so it didn't pop out. So now with this higher than this, all the water's in that All the water is in that hose there. That's not too bad. So what I'm going to do is shut the wash machine here. I already got it on spin. I'm going to run it on spin. It drains back here. See, I got the drain hose from the wash machine in there. This is a heating unit. Evaporation. So I didn't want to really get in here and fuss with this, sticking this hose down there. I guess I could have said didn't run it through my wash machine. So when that's done, the hose is done. Alright, that's done. I'm going to turn that off, and here to break the gauge. I'm going to leave that setting, so all I have to do is pump it in. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to wrap this around so it doesn't jump out of here. And if it tries to, hopefully, this might not stop it much. I hope it will. Yeah, see, that's kind of sticking up in here. So this is on the bottom. Okay. Now, so this is 40 gallons. That's the last 10. So let's empty that. So it gives us a reference. Alright. Main sump's running here. Make sure this doesn't fail. Ready. So this house, I think it was 1983 this house was built. These production houses. I guess it would have cost the developer too much money to put a floor drain in where the water heater is. I guess that's a tip if you're buying a house that doesn't have a floor drain near the water heater. Well, of course, the other thing you do is you can run a line from here or in your pan also. See, the pan needs to, that pan fills up. It's not going to fill up much. It's really designed to capture if your pressure valve releases, and hope your pressure valve releases till it releases the pressure and you don't get too much water in here. But that's not the optimum setup. All right, so now let's see if we can empty this guy. Down here. So this should be this should be getting done here shortly. So we're on 18 minutes, so you can see the amount of time it takes to. If you got a floor drain, it's easy to drain your water heater when you have to replace it. So now, Jeff Foxworthy said, if you had to rig this up to empty your water heater, you must be a redneck. I do claim that to be me here. But probably the other setup would have been maybe to have somebody just pump that out, but either that or buy a pump, put it in place of a line and just pipe it up in the air and back out somewhere to the nearest drain, which is over here by the wash machine. You'd have to pump it. Alright, so it looks like maybe this thing is getting done here. So look at this. This is, I think we did 40 just today, so I didn't really get much out of that tank. 50 gallon tank, I probably got, looks like it's going to be not even 10 gallons that I got out, so. Now I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of, "Are you crazy? You did this by yourself." That's the most unsafe thing to do. Of course it is. Of course, I'm going to call my son over when I lower this tomorrow, and we'll do it safely with 2 people. Yeah, it's a lot lighter now. 125 pounds. Maybe I just pick it right up and sit it on the floor. Maybe not. Kids would not like that. Get a little dead. I guess that's how you get hurt. So I had some carpet here, got wet. I'm not going to dry it out, I'm just going to throw it out. This little area here is in renovation phase 2. Alright, I'm probably estimating between 40 and 45 gallons already. She's still draining out of that water heater. So you say, "Oh Mark, how did you have this pan available?" Well, that's where the big pans were sitting, right up on top of the water heater. Had some other crab pots sitting in there. Of course, this one collected a lot of dust over the years. I don't think I'd ever cook anything in it, but save a pan like that, and you got a nice little low-profile sump. Alright, that's got to be 5, at least 5 gallons, so that's 45 that we got recorded taken out of here. And she's still draining. That's amazing. I probably blew that drill pump out. It says on it, "Do not run dry." You know, I was running an electrical drill that had clamp on the trigger. And I was getting the trigger. I was not getting it flow like this. I thought the hose. Now the other little thing that's a problem area with this, your drain, you want to get it down as low as you can. So save old stuff. So these were some old washing supply hoses. This one had a nice right angle on it. Goes in the back of the washing machine, comes out on the right angle, so you can push the washing machine back close to the wall you can. And then of course this would go down and curl up, and you would screw that into your supply, hot or cold. Probably cold you would do with this one. So you always save one in the middle of the night. Get a problem with a hose, you get a spare in the shop. Fix your problem till you get the hardwood for the next day. Look at this. This is the 5th fill of this. Pretty sure, unless I miscounted somewhere. I'll go back and look at the video when I'm done. See how many times we filled up this 13-gallon trash can. It's still coming out of here pretty good. So 15 years. This is probably a little leak here, rusted here. Of course, this is all insulation around this outer shell. Now you can see. So when it started to leak, it leaked at the top here. I don't know if it leaked in both places. And it ran over the side. I wasn't sure. It just dripped down the side. You can probably see a little bit of the stain. And it filled up this pan, and then fan leaked on the floor a little bit. This had a pipe on it. That pipe is now right here. So I don't really know. Maybe this failed or something, and it didn't release pressure. And pressure, we got the, this is the hot, and this was the cold. So for some reason the cold is what, this would have been where the pressure was. If it was supply pressure from the fire trucks having water flowing through the hydrant, this is where it could have popped. This is the hot water coming out. But if it got over pressurized here, could have popped this seal here if this failed. All right, what are we doing here? We're close to 10 gallons here. This is still running. All right. So I'm gonna call this 10 gallons. I'm gonna go ahead and empty this. And that would say don't run that dry too long. Got a little mesmerized there watching that. So here, I still got water coming out of this 50-gallon water heater. At least the settlement is not clogging that drain faucet on the water heater. So you got this dilemma and you're like, what do I do? So I got a straw. It's actually, this straw is filled up with like a white settlement, probably just a calcium deposit or whatever. So basically I unscrew this, the outer. This is what keeps this from coming all the way out. When I unscrewed that and I unscrewed this valve here, it comes all the way out. And I just shoved the straw in there, and I had to shove it in there pretty good to get it to flow. Of course it drained in the bottom here, and I put this back on to get this flow. Look at that. Wasn't much either. Just settlement all right there at the faucet. And she's still coming out. I have to assume we've got to be getting to the bottom here. Now, again, this hose here, that's just a gravity coming right out of the water heater, because the water heater jacked up. Use gravity where you can, and that's the problem when you don't really have it. It's sitting on this slab. You know, I guess the pressure of 50 gallons pushing out of that drain, you would have gotten it to come up. While it was sitting back here, you've probably been able to get the water flow to come up out of the hose too. Now, when you open that spigot up all the way, that's the kind of flow you get. You're getting the flow coming out of a hose. Probably a half-inch. Half-inch water coming out of a hose, pretty good. You got a leak somewhere, it will cause a nice little flood. So when you think about it, without this really, of course if it was hot water that you were draining, I'd obviously let the water cool for a day, probably a day. I discovered this and turned off the water heater and turned off the circuit breaker about 2 o'clock in the morning, Sunday morning. Today's Monday, and then installed this Sunday. So even though this is well insulated, the water's not. The water is cold water, so that water heater, without those elements running, just kind of thermodynamics, cooled down itself probably 12 hours. Pretty much cooled down pretty good. It's been more than 12 hours actually. All this water that was sitting in there. So it's Monday night, so Saturday I turned off the circuit breaker about 2 o'clock in the morning, and I discovered I had a leak incident, and didn't start to drain it till about 2 o'clock. Got back from Lowe's with that first, and then it was about 2 o'clock I started to attempt to drain, and so it had, and now she's empty now. You can see that no more water coming out of this water heater. So now I can come over, turn this off. It's empty. A lot lighter. My son and I will be able to handle this, get it out. So I'm gonna pick it up. Plenty of toes. And this is gonna drain the rest of my stumps. And that's got to be 4 of these. This is a half. That's probably 45 gallons. I think I only drained about 5 gallons Sunday afternoon. So, but when my son came there, we just got this thing out of there with 45 gallons in it. The 45 gallons in this beast. We got it out of there to just over to the side, and you know, just kind of rolled it, walked it back. $45 gallons. Monday Night Football going on upstairs. A lot lighter. A little noisy now, but you can't hear any water swishing around here. Maybe there's a gallon of water sitting up bottom. So you figure maybe 130 pounds this thing weighs. And this is enough where I can just pick this up, dump it down. So I'm going to shut this down. I've used this multiple times. This thing's really nice. I've used this multiple times too, getting wear off the cover of a pool and stuff like that. Alrighty, probably 5 gallons there. Let's get ahead and transfer that to the washing machine. So you run these things a little bit dry, and they're just really robust. So the next part's going to be fun, is getting the water out of this hose, which means I have to raise this hose when I'm done with that. Take it off the top of the sump and raise it higher than this level to get that water to run, gravity run down in here, to get the water out of this hose here. Or just probably won't even do that. I'll probably just take it out side. Fuss with it too much. Okay. Yes, a little softener there. All right, so I forget now. This has got to be 25 gallons in this wash machine. Okay. Little spin. There you go. I don't recommend this. I'm just saying for the folks that are going to say, I would have never done it that way, blah, blah, blah. I'm just saying this is the way I did it. I MacGyvered it. For all you young folks, you don't know what MacGyver is. Oh, I guess the MacGyver show's on, so I guess you get the concept. It's good applied application method. I hear people complain about electrical lines on the floor and all that, in case I have flood. But of course, it's not ground fault if this is all plugged into. Now it's right here that would go first. I'm usually pretty safety conscious, but sometimes I would think everybody would think this is god awful crazy. Roll card jack. Now, of course, the concept here was I was trying to get more surface area so I didn't puncture the jack through the bottom of the water heater. And those 45 gallons would have came coming out. That would have been my good fail video. Then this would all flood it, and that would have been real fun. So, goodbye to the old Whirlpool water heater. Give me 15 years of service, twice the warranty. And hopefully we'll get at least a decade out of this. Probably more. I think it's the same 6-year warranty on it or whatever. Never heard of this brand. It's what they're selling in Lowe's. $220. It's actually $240. I measured it. When I turned the breaker on after this was all filled and my water system was pressured in my house, I'll hook this up. It's just 220, 2-wire with a ground. And the concept is that the upper and the lower 45 watt, 115 volt heating elements only run one at a time. So these were 33 watts, I think. These heating elements here. I think I looked that up and read that. Yeah, here it is right here. 3380 on the elements. Here it's 4500 according to the box. So this so anyway, when I first turned on the circuit breaker, now you don't want to turn the circuit breaker before you know that this is filled up, because you don't want to run these heaters dry. That'll be a good way to lose your heater. Usually the top one will be the one that it goes if you do that. So you get all filled up, get your system all primed, and then I turn the circuit breaker on. So I turned the 220 circuit breaker on, it popped immediately. I was like, no. So I needed to take a shower last night. That was the whole purpose of doing this in a day. So I flipped it on again and it stayed on. So of course when you get a new appliance, you're like, did I get a defect? I know I didn't wire it wrong. So I came back, I took this access panel off, and of course the first elements are in here and the switching mechanism and all that, but you could see this is just twist lug nuts into here, and those two lines feed down to the top. So when you measured across there, I had 244 volts. So I said, okay, circuit breaker didn't trip, stayed on. 10 minutes. There's or probably one element at a time. 10 minutes, turned on hot water. 10-15 minutes, turned on hot water. I was watching the Ravens game, and now that was before. Is that before the Ravens game? Right before the Ravens game. Goal was to get this project done before the Sunday night game where the Ravens beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. So anyway, 10-15 minutes, turned on hot water in the kitchen. Got hot water coming out of the faucet. So she came up, did good. Took a shower late at night. It's fine. So she's been working good. And yes, the Ravens did kick the Steelers' ass last night. That was nice. So there you go. Eastern Shore, Maryland. Redneck. Rig job. Double sump. Well, I guess this guy's done. So there you go. Have a good one, folks.